Hello and welcome to the Fatu Network News Review program. I am Fatu Kamara and thank you very much for joining us. We will begin with a look at the newspapers and we will start with, of course, the Standard newspaper. If you're just joining us, thank you once again and welcome to the News Review program. And we would start, like I said, with the Standard newspaper, and it says IEC has no plans for elections in 2018. That is on the Standard newspaper. That the Independent Electoral Commission has no plan. That is as part of talks that there is about the president to respect the gentleman agreement and call for elections in 2019. But the IEC is saying the National Electoral Body has announced that it has no plans at all to conduct the presidential elections next year. Independent Electoral Chairman Aliu Moman Jai told the Standard in an exclusive interview over the weekend that this institution has not received any message from the Barrow government putting it on notice to convene the elections. That means that if everything goes as planned, it will go until 2021 when President Barrow will be in power for 5 years as dictated by the Constitution of the Gambia. So the IEC is saying we are not aware, we did not receive any message. He said IEC is mandated to organize the presidential elections every 5 years and unless there is law to change that, they have to assume that the next election will be in 2021. And also on the Standard newspaper, there is information there for the government asked to scrap Social Security panel. We understand that Social Security has a board and there is also a panel that many are saying should be scrapped since the board is taking its decision for the board to go ahead and work on the process. And right on here, it is saying that old age pensioners and contributors to the National Pension Fund Saturday expressed their dissatisfaction and urged the government to scrap the investigations panel set up by to probe the standoff and that is paralyzing the corporation. So the meeting was held at the Tango on Saturday. That Social Security should stick with the board and rather than set up another panel of investigation. If you could recall that this was set up recently by the President of the Republic, and the panel includes Crispin Gray Johnson, who was the Minister of Higher Education, and also Aliu Ngom, who was a permanent representative of the Gambia at the UN, and he was also the Secretary General at the Office of the President. And of course, the minister is also on there. Our minister, that's the Information Minister, Ibrahim Silla, warning private radios to comply with regulations. And among those regulations is the fact that they should connect with the Gambia Radio and Television Services, GRTS, when news time is on so that they can relay the news. But he is saying that most radio stations, with the exception of West Coast Radio, they are definitely not doing that at all. So he was reminding them about that, which is a requirement because it is part of the requirements when you get a license that you should also air the GRTS news. And bad laws to be repealed in December. That's also the Minister for Information, Ibrahim Asila. He was speaking at the Editors Forum at the Ocean Bay Hotel. Ibrahim Asila said that the ministry has already drafted a cabinet paper on the recommendations of the committee, which is to be tabled in the next cabinet sitting, that the bad laws that is hindering the media from doing our job, according to Minister Silla, they will be repealed so that the journalists would be able to carry our work without, any hindrance. And Ibrahim Asila made these statements, like I said, at the country's Editors Forum at the Ocean Bay Hotel. The forum was sponsored by the United Nations Development Program, and it was organized by the West African Network for Peace Building and the Gambia Press Union. And still on the Point newspaper, it says Gambia and EU cooperation is on the move. That's also on there, that it actually started in 1976 and it was meant, among other things, to contribute to the effective implementation of the Gambia government's strategic educational development and poverty eradication. It is reported that during the Yahya Jammeh regime, it was kind of dormant, but now it looks like it is catching up. And also on the Point, transport stakeholders highlight challenges in the industry. That's also on there. An environment minister leads 1,503 planting at Mandina Bar. And Gambia's media fraternity mourned the death of Dudu Sane. Dudu Sane actually was a colleague in the newsroom. We worked together at the newsroom at the Gambia Radio and Television Services. He actually is another victim of Yaya Jammeh. He went through a lot. Could remember there was one where he covered an event. I think it was a UDP rally, and that got him in trouble. Since that time, he had issues until Jammeh left. We understand that he was sick, and GRTS actually were able to maintain him. But he passed away recently on Friday, the 31st of August 2018, after battling with illness. Dudu was a victim of ex-President Jammeh. That's what the newspaper Foria is reporting. And then he fled into exile. He was arrested and he was tortured by the National Intelligence Agency after being accused of false broadcasting during the 2006 presidential elections. I could remember that Dudu's death. They said Foria is reporting has shocked many Gambians, but more so his colleagues, journalists, and other staff members at the Gambia Radio and Television Services. I could remember we all used to call him Magadu. He was always in a very good mood. And so security members meet to discuss issues. That's also on there. That's the Tango meeting that was held on Saturday. The Foria is also reporting on that. And minister announces reforms of media laws. That's the minister saying that the bad laws in the media will be repealed. That's like the false broadcasting law, the internet law, the one that was the one that I was charged with. That is to 15 years in jail. I think those are one of the bad laws that would be repealed. IPC regional visits Buyam, West Coast region. That's on the paper. And Central Bank Governor calls for agricultural transformation. The Voice newspaper is reporting that Victim Center asked government to expedite investigations into Jammeh crimes. The Victim Center is saying, you know, this has to be a little bit faster, but we understand that the setting up of the TRRC is moving fast. We're going by the information that we're getting on the Facebook page of Baba Gali Jallo, the executive director of the TRRC. Gambia Chiefs Association grabbed second in food festival. That's also in the newspaper. That's on the Voice newspaper. 2 more dead bodies found at Denton Bridge. I guess that was not actually today's. And the Daily News is reporting that the new constitution will be the best. That's the chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee, Mr. Justice Cherno Suleiman Jallo, CRC chairman, who was speaking. I guess this was at the press briefing that they had at their offices at the Future Lake building along Battle Harding Highway. And Barrow attends China Forum. The president left on Saturday with the First Lady, who's also expected to be part of a forum to discuss HIV and AIDS in Africa. And get into cattle business, the chief dealer tells youth. That's also on the paper. I guess that's all in the newspapers today. We were expecting a report from Omar Wali in Nigeria. Actually, he was supposed to be back over the weekend, but he had other engagement. You all know that our partners at Tough Africa Global also have Rift Tough in Port Harcourt. So he is actually there to take a look at the project there so he can do some interviews and bring them for you. But right now, I don't think he'll be able to get that to us. He's editing that as we speak right now. Once we have that, if it is too late to bring it to you on the news review, we would actually put it on our Facebook page so you can see what he's doing in Nigeria. But he's expected back this week, inshallah. But there is a big controversy surrounding Abdullah Sen. Lysen was a former National Assembly member, and there has been a lot of talk about an audio where Lysen was trying to put down the sources, and the Mandinkas trying to say it's not the same. There's a Mandinka and there are sources, and that video is kind of like all over. The audio is kind of all over, and there's a lot of talk about it on social media. And our reporters went out to talk to people about it, and here is what they have.
Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real FSL 4G SIM and receive 1 GB of internet data for free.
For Lysen, what he said is something that will that is going to promote or encourage tribalism in the Gambia. And right now, we should think of how to erase tribalism in the Gambia, but not how to develop the hatred between tribes in the Gambia. That is very wrong, and then I guess everyone should come on board and then think of how to resolve this, because if Mandinkas, on the other hand side, get this audio, they will have the, let's say, the intention to pay back, and then paying back, that thing is going to bring a tribal war inside the Gambia. And then right now, we don't need that.
The Gambia is on crossroads at the moment, and we cannot allow ourselves to be, to fall into situations where other countries were brought to their knees because of hate speeches like this. I was in Rwanda recently, and haven't gone through their history and haven't seen, the destruction was caused by, something like this, speeches like this. Some of these were incited by radio stations. Go and kill the tall trees, and that is how some of the other tribes were identifying the other. So it's something very serious, and it has to be condemned by every Gambian.
Well, first of all, my own opinion is, well, it's a hate speech, and having known that he was part of the former regime and being part of the former decision makers of the Gambia, I didn't feel that was quite expected of him. But nevertheless, I would say that Gambians cannot be changed because of tribe or ethnicity or religion, but then let's just move forward and ignore things that are not worth our time. To me, I feel that there are more we could achieve with the attention that's been given to Mr. Lai Sen, and with due respect to him, I feel he needs to apologize to the Gambian public.
We are at a very fragile stage right now. We need to be very, very, very careful. And I think the government of Adama Barrow should also talk to the police, at least for them to monitor all these audios, all these radios, online, publications and speeches. Let them, I think they should cross-check everything, because if care is not taken, if this country is put into that situation, it's going to cost us a lot,
From AfriCell, it's always real and it's for free.
Where AfriCell goes, no one has the speed to follow.
Okay, so many are talking about the statement by Lai Sen as hate speech. But there's something that this lady said. She said there's a lot of attention given to Lai Sen about this issue. At some point, I feel about that same way. I'm not saying it is not a serious thing that he did. It is really bad, it's really serious. But also remember that this guy has been rendered irrelevant. He's also trying to come up. I mean, with all this attention, Jammeh will be sitting there, oh, wow, Lai Sen, wow, guy kay nyungere. I mean, sometimes when this came up, I'm like, which Lai Sen? The guy who likes to dance at the musical jamborees, dancing for Jammeh? Is that the one? Is the same one? They were like, yes. I'm like, okay, well, it's very unfortunate, but we're also getting word that he has been called in by the police. We were trying to verify that information, but we did not get in. We were not able to speak to the police about it. But there is word that Lai Sen is called in, and also on the social media, they've been saying that he was going to be charged this morning, but there is no information about that. We will continue to ask the police, and if there is any new information, we will update you on our Facebook page. What we're going to do right now, we're going to take another Vox Pop, take a look at another Vox Pop, and this one is on the conditions of our roads.
Africa Global is pleased to launch Dalaba Housing Estate. Dalaba Housing Estate is our newest estate located on the Sukuta Jabang Road. You can buy a finished 2 or 3 bedroom house or service plots accompanied with a free fence and gate. At Dalaba Housing Estate, you get to enjoy bituminized roads, gated and fenced properties, solar street lights, water reticulation, public amenities, 1,500 fruit trees aligned in streets, and many more. Make a 40% down payment today and spread the balance conveniently for 10 years with GTBank, EcoBank, and Trust Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Wow, I mean like am nga ñom bala ñu dem di tabax yi néeg yi ni yeb dégala ci ñom seen on gis-gis mais bi mo leen gënal waye ñun tamit yoon bi tamit dafa important ci ñun so déggé né da nga dem dugg office moto mo lay yobbu ba ci biir office bi yoon bi su baaxul ban moto mo lay mëna yobbu ba ci biir office bi dafa important pour ñu gëstu ñun tamit because suñu yoon bi so xolé fa la ñaari tali la waye ñaari tali yeb dañ leen def one way té ñun ñu ngi fay tax té so xolé ñu nak private ñu ñoo dé gëna fay private ci. But despite all that, gang ñi bay ñu jaar ci yoon bu bon bi every day suñu so dawé 2 days 3 days da nga dem yobbu sa moto bi garage maintenance te fo nga gëné xaliss.
Government dafa la implement a new garage pour taxi drivers bo xamné people will sona. Man do sona you do sona. Because da nga gis so bëgg joy fi dem be lesel bakaw. You have to pay 2 pass. Da nga fay fi be traffic light, nga fay dem bakaw. It's because amun garage. But amé garage, taxi bu nekk xam foy daw am lu plate bo xamné da nga ko le su ne bi bakaw la mo em. So even yoon bi dem tali ni sa tabako you pay 4 times. And it's not done. You know government bi. So you know what dimbalé government tam dimbalé people bi.
Sun problème mo nek yooni baax amuñ ko. So police fu ñu jagleel moy yooni boni. La dina lañ wone driver dañ fa jaar yooni baax la private di jaar loolu dëgg du yoon te ñu ngay fay road tax. Understand nga mbalit baa ngi ni kaas nañ ko ba génne ko fi waaye taxul mbalit bi ñëwaat na fi kaas nañ ko fi si digg cité bi la yaa understand mu ngi ni jàkkaarloo Gamtel du yoon fu ñu ko teg nii understand nga amuñ garage taxi xona luñ liggéey jox ko police yi understand nga luñ liggéey jox ko government bi te mënuñu am tali bu baax loolu dëgg du yoon yooyu fi war a jee fu mu nekk sista yi no
ñun yaaga nañ fi ñu ngi yaaga dawal ñu ngi hosul fii waa dëgg doomi dëkk bi lañ understand nga suñu yoon yi yaaga nañee yaaxu gis ngeen ko nu mu men yaa ngi understand mbalit baa ngi nii fii lañ dee taxaw yaaga nañee kaas amuñ ku ñu dimbale amuñ fenn fu ñu dem yaa ngi understand teg si ñaareel tam police yi sonal nañ ñu am joxuñ ñu garage te fii nguur gi rek a ñu mun a dimbale te war nañ ñu mun a jàppale tam ngir si doomi dëkk bi lañ te ñu ngi liggéey di daan suñ doole bëgg nañ wax dëgg ne yàlla nag ku ñu jàppale soxla nañ ko trop.
Wait, this is the best part. We are giving a discount on outright payments. For more information and exceptional service, please call our office line on +220 4410 Better still, call us on mobile or via WhatsApp on +220 376 2333 or +220 776 2333. You can also visit our website on www.tafafricahomes.com. TAF Africa Global. Our experience is global. Our focus is Africa.
Okay, so the condition of the road and the driver speaking there, and that was actually at Westfield and some part were in Banjul. Like I said, Omar Wali is in Nigeria. He is at the TAF Africa Global Project in Port Harcourt. He is going to join us in a short while to talk to us about the project over there. And for those of you who are asking numbers about how to buy a home at TAF, the number, like we always put on the Facebook, is 776-2333. If you call that number, you will have all the information that you need to know. That was on the conditions of the road. So very shortly, Omar Wali is going to call, and we also want to update you on the $752,000 that was paid into the Fatoumata Barrow Foundation, the FEB Foundation. We're still doing our investigations, and the good thing is now a whole lot of sources are opening up to us, and everything that we are writing, we stand by them. And if there is any instance that the board members or the FAB Foundation said that is not right, we can prove them because we have documents as well. One thing we know is that when the money comes in, there are 3 signatures to the account, and that's Fatou Cisse. Fatou Cisse is the acting CEO of the FAB Foundation, and also First Lady is a signatory, and First Lady's aunt, Aminata Jallo, is also a signatory. She is the proprietress of Marie Moore. We understand that when this money came in on the 18th of December in 2017, the money was removed on the same day, and 2 people signed for this instead of allowing the other 3rd signatory to sign. That person did not sign, and it was only 2 people that signed, and those 2 were the First Lady and her aunt, Aminata Jallo, also signed. And Aminata at first told them that the money came from Beirut, but they showed her the telex that the money is from Hong Kong. And we also gathered that when the 742 was removed from the account to charter for a flight from Portugal, which never happened, Aminata, they said, was insisting that she wanted to remove the remaining of the money from the account. That's all we know as of now. We'll be updating you on this information. What we don't know is if the president is aware of this, but we do know that the First Lady told the board members that she was going to gather the information and was going to bring it to the attention of the president, and that she would get back to them, but she never got back to them about that. Right now, it looks like we have Omar Wali on the line. Hello? Hello, Omar? Hello? Okay, yeah, it seems like I can't hear him. Omar, can you hear us? Okay, so we would give it a little bit of time if Omar Wali is watching. if he can call back and tell us about what he has seen at the Reef Tough project in Port Harcourt. So we're waiting for him to call us back and let us know, and then we will get back to you. But also about the Social Security, the findings on the Social Security Board, we also know that it is supposed to take a month for them to come up with a solution as to how to take care of the problems at Social Security. But we do know that the pensioners that met at the Tango on Saturday are saying that investigative team should be, a panel should be, taken off, because as far as they're concerned, there is a board, and that the board should be able to do their work. We are also looking at that information, and what we have on that, we would also keep you posted on that as well. So we're going to give Omar Wali a little bit of time and see if he will be able to connect, and then we would bring him on. Yes, Omar, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, Omar, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Omar. I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you, yes.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. I did just announce that you...
How are you doing today?
Yes, I just announced that you are in Port Harcourt and that you are at the Tough Africa Global Project. What can you tell us?
Well, I've been here since yesterday, and I met Assam Sose, he's the regional manager for Tough Africa Global. And I visited the complex, and I even spent the night in one of the houses. And this is a 15-hectare, it's divided into two phases. You have phase 1 and you have phase 2. And within phase 1, you have 38 blocks of apartment, 2 and 3 bedrooms, and each block has 16, and it is all totally making us 608 units. So this thing started in 2013 approximately. It's a public-private partnership. At the time, the River State government was looking for a credible real estate developer, and the World Bank identified Mustafa Njai, Tough, to the River State government. And at the time, the River State government wanted to do mass housing for their people here in Port Harcourt. And Tough was identified, and he started now. In phase 1 alone, we have over 2,500 people living there. And when the other phase is completed, we will have approximately 4,000 people there.
Yeah, so you said you slept in one of the houses. How is it? Is it something that you would recommend for people to buy? Is it something that you would want to buy yourself? How does it feel in there? Is it nice and comfortable?
Yeah, well, this is what I've been discussing with Hassan yesterday. I said, I wish we have these kind of things in the Gambia. You see, if we have 1 or 2 of these things in the Gambia, well, not many people will be sheltered. But it's unfortunate that we don't have these things. Almost 2,500 people from this city, the capital of River State, are living here. There is security, there is electricity, and there is water. And they have their own power plant that supplies them 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
And in the event, they have electricity. That's what they have their own power supply within the city here. So, and they also have a standby generator, a backup generator that supplies in the event that there is a power outage. So that one will also supply them. And they have security at the gates where if you come, they will screen you before you get in. You know, this is a region where militancy and other crimes are common here. So, like it's not far from the Delta, Niger Delta region, where, if you may remember, we have the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, and the armed robbery and crimes are. So, at the moment, I'm at a field. This is parts, how do you call it? Phase 2. This is a swampy area. They are filling it with sand. If you can see behind me, filling with sand so that they will build. So on my opposite left here, there is a river. So there is also work ongoing here.
Okay. So we can't see that right now, but I know that you have a video over there. So maybe later on after this program, you can upload that video for us to see. But you did say if they can have something like this in Gambia, but I'm sure you're aware of the Dalaba that is coming up, and also another project that they have in the Tanja area. So eventually, I didn't know if they did say that it's going to have its own power plant. I don't think they mentioned that yet, but I'm sure something like that would come. Maybe when you come back, you can have an interview with Mustafa Njai and ask him, the CEO.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like they have like over 1,000 fruit trees here. You have a shopping mall, you have a bar, a restaurant, a gym, and everything. So, and you know, in every society, people want to live in a secure society. This is entirely fenced. I know Dalaba, I spoke to TAF before, but this is a good project. The reason why I'm saying this, if you have one or two of these within the greater Banjul area, I bet almost 50, 60, 70% of the population will have a decent housing and at a cheaper rate than it is how people are struggling with rent and so on in the Gambia.
Okay. Well, Omar Wali, someone is saying if the Gambia can stop the blah blah, we will have what Omar Wali is talking about. Somebody said that in the comment section, they're blaming the talks on that of the people, but I think this is more about investment. And now that we have people like TAF around, they'll be able to bring us that. Don't you think?
I can't hear you. I missed that.
Yes, I think somebody is saying that what Omar Wali is talking about, if we stop the blah blah, we'll be able to have it. I said, I think this takes investment. And with people like TAF, we'll be able to have it.
Look, TAF, a Gambian born, was identified to Nigerian government by the World Bank. When the River State, this is far south Nigeria, south Nigeria, River State. It's a land rich with minerals and so many other things. But when they want, this is a land of intellects and so many things. Whatever you want in this country, you can get it. But the World Bank identified TAF because they were looking for credibility. That is one thing. Number two, someone who has a capacity. And if TAF can do this for Nigeria, when I think there's too much talking. When our business or people or government is serious about some of the issues, we don't even need to go for foreign order. We can utilize stuff and he can settle all these things. But when I look at this, the landscape here is extremely well. But one of the problems we have in the Gambia is urban planning. Our planning system is horrible. You see here is the landscape. I will be bringing the videos in a short while because I did a short report. But if we can, TAF can do this in here, and World Bank identifying TAF, why not Gambia do the same thing? At least for the teachers, for the doctors, for the nurses, and for average people to have a living place to live, rather than struggling. This is a country where, in a Gambia, where you will see somebody who will work for nearly 30 years without earning even
So then that make you feel proud of TAF? Like you go to Nigeria, you see this beautiful place, and it is all done by a Gambian, and World Bank trusted him enough to put these projects into his hands. They're not proud of him?
That's what I'm saying. If you know, if this man can, let me put it in a one word. Yes, I am proud of TAF. You come here, these structures can go for next 50, 60 years or 70 years. No problem. Because I have seen the structures, I know how strong they are. I've seen the landscape. They are building on a swampy area. You go to, for example, in Rwanda, it's all mountainous. You go to Abuja, it's mountainous. But this is a flat land, but it's a swampy area. But they are going way inside this, the other part of the country to bring in sand, to fill in the place. So you can see, and we don't have that problem in certain part of the Gambia. All you need is to provide land. So if the land is allocated, these such things can be put up, and people can be, can be there and have something decent place for their families and be paying within 5 or 10 years.
Well, Omar Wali, thank you very much. Great analysis there. So we're waiting for you to upload the videos. But meanwhile, the news review team wants you to come back. You know, they're missing all the interviews, all the good interviews.
Well, I'm not coming anymore because I'm going to the I'm going to Itiam in northern Nigeria. I was in Nasarawa State a few days ago, and I should go to Kano. So I'm not coming any moment soon.
What are you saying? You're coming this week.
I said, you can do you can do the news review.
No. I'm you do the great interview, the good interview. So we're all waiting for that. But thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it, and we will see you this week, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. That's Omar Wali talking to us from Port Harcourt at the Reef TAF project. And he did talk about or give out all the information that you need to know. He will post a video very shortly, and you will take a look at the project itself and also listen to an interview that he has with Hassan Sose. And somebody was asking about the LIBOR issue. Maybe you got in late, but we spoke to people about it, and they've actually expressed their opinion about the whole LIBOR issue. We will post that video later on. Maybe you just tune in, that's why you're missing it. But yes, people spoke about it. And we're getting another information right here from the police, that the police has a new PRO, and the new PRO is Lamin Jai. He's appointed as the new public relations officer of the Gambia Police Force following the departure of Superintendent David Kujabi, who recently left to the United Kingdom to pursue master's degree in peace and conflict studies. ASP Lamin Jai previously served in this position until October 2016, when he left for the People's Republic of Turkey to pursue masters in security strategies management and superior police training. So Lamin is now the police PRO, and ASP Fode Konta is the Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force. So we are looking forward to working with ASP Lamin Jai. Definitely, we've not been having any issues with the police since the new Gambia. Definitely, they've been always there when we want information. So that's all we have for you today in the News Review program. I am Fatou Kamara. Thank you all very much for your time. We also would like to thank TAF Africa Global, our partners, and also AfriCell and ASP Money. Thank you all very much for believing in us. We do know that we had an interview actually that was supposed to come today, but the person couldn't make it. It's a National Assembly member, and he called to say they're busy at the National Assembly, but we're trying to reschedule that for next week, hopefully, or sometime this week actually, when he's free from the Assembly. Then we can talk about some of these issues, because there's a lot of talk around that the National Assembly members cannot talk because of the cost that were given to them, but they have assured me that there's nothing that would stand in the way of them speaking their mind and doing the right thing for Gambia, because to them, the person who I'm yet to interview said to them, it is about the country and it's not about anybody else. So we'll talk about all of that during the week, but thank you all for your time. I am Fatou Kamara, and on behalf of the entire team of the News Review, have a very good one.